Welcome to TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn about Serverless SQL Pool in Azure Synapse. So Serverless SQL Pool is a pay-per-query on-demand query service in Azure Synapse Analytics. It lets you query data stored in Azure Data Lake without moving or loading it into the traditional database. The file formats can be maybe CSV file, Parquet file, JSON files sitting in the data lake, and you will be able to use or query them by using a Serverless SQL Pool. You will be simply using like simple tsql command to read the file. It's a big feature that is provided by the Azure Synapse. Now think of it as running SQL queries directly on files. No need to preload data. So this feature is a really awesome feature, especially with the people like DBS, that developer come in from the background for SQL Server or maybe Oracle or Postgres and MySQL and all that, and they want to query those CSV file, Parquet file, JSON file sitting in the file structure, and just want to read those files. It is not that easy the way this is presented right here. Now let's talk about a little bit about the architect. So here is the serverless SQL pool. You have application or user, then you have a control node. So queries are sent to the control node, and the distributed query processing engine take that queries and then give to the compute nodes. Compute nodes then read the data from or write the data, whatever it need to be done on this Azure storage. So let's take all those steps it does for that. The serverless SQL pool is powered by Polaris Engine, a distributed query engine built by Microsoft. Here how it works. Query is submitted via Synapse Studio or external tools such as Power BI, Azure Data Studio, etc. Now, control node receives the query, compiles and optimizes it. Polaris Engine breaks the query into the parts. Compute nodes are dynamically assigned to execute these parts in parallel. Query scans data directly from ADLS Gen 2, Blob Storage, Cosmos DB, etc. Results are assembled and returned to the user. No cluster setup is required. Compute is allocated temporarily and only when needed. So you see that this is very easy for us to understand with the picture. Let's take a look at how it works. No need to provision or manage compute resources. When you run a query, Synapse dynamically assign compute power. You are billed only for the data scanned per terabyte. Very easy to manage. There is no need to create clusters or nodes or anything like that. Whenever you are ready and you want to write a query to read the data from your file, you can simply write your query and use the serverless SQL pool for the computer. Now different formats are supported. Then we can use a CSV file, Parquet file, JSON file, Delta Lake, and all different formats are available that we can use when we need to read these files by using a serverless SQL pool. The billing model is you have a billing unit is called per terabyte. So number of TBs, terabytes you will scan, you will pay for that much. It's around $5 per terabyte. Minimum billing 10 MB per query. So at least whenever you are going to run small or big query, at least you will be billed for 10 MB per query. So there are some optimization tip I will give you. If you need to select some records from the file, don't select everything and select the columns that you need. Also use the where clause. It is really helpful wherever you can use. So be precise in your query instead of saying select asterisk from that file, because you don't want to read there may be 200 columns in that file and you really need only 2 columns. Why you would read all those extra columns and pay for it. Key benefits: no infrastructure to manage, ideal for ad hoc or exploratory analysis, great for querying large files in data lakes, works well with Synapse Studio and Power BI. So now let's talk about when to use. You want to explore raw files in your data lake. You don't need preload data or full warehousing. You want cost-effective on-demand querying, and these are really good use cases where you can use the serverless SQL pool. Now let's talk about summary. We have almost finished with our slides here. Serverless SQL pool in Synapse make it easy to query large data sets stored in Azure without a provisioning infrastructure. It is fast, flexible, and built only when you use it. Perfect for quick exploration and modern data lake house scenarios. But now we will go and take a look on how exactly we will query those files. So here I am on my Azure, and if you remember that when we were creating the Azure Synapse workspace, we have created the storage account as well. So let's click on TechBrothers Synapse STG. So now you are in Synapse and you would like to upload those files. So you can go to data here, and in the data you can see workspace and linked. So here you can see that we are linked with our blob storage. So see, it's exactly the same blob storage I showed you in our portal right there. And now you can click on this folder right there or container, and it's going to show you right there. So now we can upload files, we can create new folder and do different things from here. So now let me create a new folder, and we call this folder input folder. Okay, and once I create the input folder, now we have input folder here, double click on that one, and now we are in container name Synapse container, and then we have input folder. Here I'm going to go ahead and upload, and then we are going to select some files. I'm going to select customer files, and from my download folder, and I have these files created a long time ago. So I have customer for USA, EMEA, and there are some other files sitting there. So overwrite existing files if they are, we don't know, we don't have actually those files there. So all these files are loaded into one of the folder here. There are many ways we can query these files. The simplest way will be right click here and say new SQL script, and then you will say select top 100 rows. Click right there, and you see that it has created this query for us, and also it is connected to the built-in. So that is our serverless SQL pool. Now we will leave this one as is. If you go to the manage here, also in the manager you will go to the SQL pools, and here you will say built-in. That's our serverless SQL pool. So you can see more details if you want. So this is going to show us our properties built-in. So you can see that its name is built-in, and then it says workspace SQL endpoint. It provided endpoint is online and created date and all that. So you can see more information if you would like to see. So workspace information. Here is our workspace name, and this is workspace URL, location, and the resource group, and all that good information is there. But anyways, we are not interested here to create the SQL pools or anything that, because we are going to use this already created or built-in serverless SQL pool. So here is the definition. You can click right there, serverless SQL pool built-in, immediately available for your workspace, and the dedicated when you have to create it. Okay, so we haven't created yet, we will do in future. So let's go back to our query right there in the data tab here, and now we see that it has selected top 100 asterisk from open row set, and then it is reading from this path. So you see that it is a TechBrothers, that is our blob storage name, and then it has our container name right there, and then it has the folder name input, and then it has the file name .csv. So we can it has different options are available, such as formats, CSV. If you are reading Parquet, then you will say Parquet or JSON depending on that, and the parser version 2.0. So you are not doing anything else right now. We are going to go ahead and run it, and then we'll come back later and dig further into different options. And now you can see that it has read our file. If you see right here, this is auto generated, and we have not told if this row has header or not, so it uses header as a record as well. So in next videos we will talk about that, how exactly we will work with open row set and read multiple files and apply header information and everything. As we can see that now the results are there, and I want to go ahead and close this query and say discard changes. We saw the query, and now we can go to another file and just simply say new SQL script top 100. So it is going to show us the query for that file, and we can simply read that file. You can see the size of the file as well, so this is very helpful. You would know that how much you are paying. Now if you are here, you can always close this, and now we will go to the monitor. Here in the monitoring you will see the SQL request, and once you see the SQL request, you will see a lot more information about your execution of those queries, and you can see that we had run multiple queries here and select star from this, and we can always hit right here open or more and see which file we have read. So this is very helpful, and it tells you like how much time it took to run that. Also it tells you data process 10 MB, because remember that even though our files are like just even less than 1 KB, but you will be charged for 10 MB. And here you can provide more filters. Let's say you have more pools, such as I have only one built-in pool. This is a serverless SQL pool, and that's what I'm showing right now. But in case you have any dedicated SQL pools, you can filter that, and then it will show you the queries related to that. Then also you have daytime and other filters can be added from here as well. So this is it for now, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video where we will do some more experiments with the serverless SQL pools. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.